All right, welcome to this video. In this video, we're going to start talking about strings in the language C. All right, so strings. Strings are made up of character arrays. Character arrays. What does that mean? That just means that a string is a whole series of characters that are placed in an array. And what makes strings interesting in C is the fact that you can formulate words out of different characters. So just to keep in understanding, strings, you use double quotations for strings, and for characters, you use single quotations. So single quotations is for a single character, like a single character X, which we've been using all along, and strings is for double, like we've been using all along strings in printf. When you want to print something onto the screen, you put the characters like U and P, so that would be a word called up. And this is a single character which is inside of single quotations. All right, so now let's talk about how we declare and use strings. So we're going to focus first on declaring and use strings as arrays so that we can focus more on the array concept. So the way that you declare a character array is the same way that you would declare an integer, double, or an integer or double array. You say the name of the array called word and the data type, which is char, and then we're going to make our arrays larger than what we need. So we're going to use partial arrays for our words. So I don't think there are many words that are more than 25 characters. So I'm going to declare a character array called word, and when I do that, I will get a character array called word. Now word is the pointer that points to the first character in my array. And then I will have all of these different indexes. So it starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way up until I get to index 24. So I'm capable of storing 24 characters, 25 characters from 0 to 25 in this array called word. Now the easiest way to initialize your character array or your string is through an assignment statement. So the way you assign it is very differently than the way you assign an integer or a double. So I'm going to show you the difference in just a second. So the easiest way is to put quotation marks and put the string inside of the quotation marks. So what I'm doing right here is I'm declaring a character array whose name is word, capable of storing 25 characters, and I'm putting the word hello in it. So what's going to happen is word at index 0 will be the character H. We'd have an E here, an L, an L, and an O. That's the letter O. Then if I declare and initialize it like this, I get a special character that is part of the string that is for all strings, and that is a backslash and the number 0. So it's a kind of a strange special character because it's made up of two characters, but this is called the null character. The null character is just a backslash and the number 0 inside of single quotations. Now if I declare and initialize a character array by initializing it as a string like this, the program will automatically put the null character at the end of the string. Now why is the null character important? The null character is important because there is a library called string.h, and the library string.h uses the null character to manipulate strings. So even though strings are character arrays, yes they are, there is a library that you can use called string.h, which has functions in it to help you do things like find out how long your string is, manipulate strings, add strings together, copy one string onto another string, copy over a string. So there are a bunch of functions that are available to do this work for you. and all you have to do is include the library string.h. So I just want to show you a couple of things. The other thing is, because we are going to deal with character arrays the way that we deal with all arrays, you're always going to want to declare an integer to go along with your array that keeps track of how many elements are in your array. All right, so if I put the word hello, H-E-L-L-O, inside of my array, that means that I have 5 letters, and so the size would then be 5. Now, why would the size be 5? Because 5 is going to be the location of the null character. It's going to be how many characters that I have in here that I care about. It's the same thing that you do with your integer array and your double array. If you have a double array called scores and you put 6 scores in it, you only care about the 6 scores. But I want you to take note that there is no null character for integer or double. There is no null character. The null character is only for strings. It's only for character arrays. So the way that you process character arrays is different than the way that you process strings. If you process a character array that does not have the null character, then it would be processed the same way that you do integers or doubles. But if you process a character array that is a string, and it's a string if it has the null character at the end, then you would process it the same way, a different way than the integers or the doubles. Now, if you wanted to do this character array the same way that you do an integer or a double, you would say char word size 20 equals, and then you have to put characters in one by one. H, E, L, L, O. Now, if I did that, I would get a character array called word that would go up to size 19, 0 to 19, up 20 characters, and I would not get the null character, because if you notice right here, I did not put any null character here, so there is no null character. So it's much easier to declare and initialize a character array as a string, so then you make sure that you get the null character in there. If I wanted to assign the null character, so if I said int size equals 5, so the size would still be 5. If I wanted to assign the null character right here, I could say word at index 5 equals the null character. And when I do that, that's going to put the null character at this location. Again, it's perfectly fine to do it that way. That way will work. This is a character array. It is an array made of characters. There's just this nice thing, the ability to treat it as a string and have some help and do things a little more, make some of the processing things that you want to do a little easier. Keep in mind, there is no null character for integer or double. So this is only for character arrays or strings. That's why there's a whole different lesson on strings. All right, now let's talk about how you can scan into a string from the user. So I can declare char word size 20. And now I don't know what word I'm going to put in there. So what I want to do is have the user give me the word. So I would say printf, enter a word, and then scanf, %s. So you have a new symbol here where you have %d for integer, %f or %lf for double, %c for character. We now have %s for for strings, for character arrays. Now, this is something to think about, because if this word points is a pointer, and the second argument to scanf is a pointer, do you think I need to put the ampersand or not put the ampersand? Keep in mind, word is not a character. Word is a character pointer. Word at any index, that is a character. Word itself is a character pointer. Because it points to the first location of the array. So do you think that the second argument to scanf would take an ampersand? No, it does not. Because word is a character pointer. In other words, it is a location. So this was the whole thing we did on pointers, and an array, as we've learned when we start learning about arrays, is also just a pointer, but instead of pointing to a single character, it points to the beginning of 20 characters. But when you scan in from the user, so let's say that the user enters the word happy. So that was the word that the user entered. So what will happen is you will get the letter H, A, P, P, Y, and the null character. And these are characters, single characters. And of course this can go on because it can go up to size 20. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So how many letters are in my array? 5. So the null character is going to be the first one after. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my size, I would have int size. Now clearly I do not know the size of the word until the user enters the word. So there's this very nice function you can use that's part of pound include string string.h. So if you include the string.h library, there is a function called string length, strlen. You just pass a string to that. So in this case, we're going to pass our word. The string length function will take that word and it will return the location of the null character, which would be the first location after all of the letters that we care about. So in this case, it would return the number 5. And the best way to test this would be to, erase that, you could printf word is %s. So you can also use %s to print a string. Now the way %s works with printf, it will print all of the characters until it reaches the null character. So if there is no null character, the %s is not going to work properly. And it's a good idea to try that. Try printing with a character array that does not have a null character in it and see what happens. And then you could say length is %d, comma, and then you would be printing your word and the size. So this is a good idea to practice this. Just practice declaring words, a few words, and declaring character arrays. Try initializing by declaration and initialization. Try adding in words by using %s, printing onto the screen, using string length to get different lengths of different words. And so I really strongly suggest that you start practicing. And the biggest thing that you can do when you are working with character arrays is to draw pictures just like this. And it's nice because you can see the letters and their words. So we're going to do one more thing. We're going to take a word, get it from the user, and change the entire word to uppercase. So let's just go over that, and that will be the last part of this video. So to do that, we need to pound include stdio.h. stdio.h, of course, is for printf and scanf. We need to pound include ctype.h. ctype.h is for toUpper, so we're going to use toUpper, which we've been using all semester, and we're also going to pound include string.h because we're going to use the string length function. So now I'm going to go ahead and declare a character array called word. Make it size 20. I'm going to declare an integer that keeps track of the length of the word. You can use length or size, it's just a variable. I'm going to ask the user to enter a word. I'm going to scan in the word. And now I'm going to go through and make all of the letters in the word uppercase. All right, so before I do that, I could print the word. All right, so there is no special way to take the word and turn it all into uppercase. The way that you want to turn it all into uppercase would be to go character by character. So the way that you would do that is to use a loop. So I'm going to declare an integer I up here, and I'm going to go character by character and change each character in my word to uppercase. Now, I don't know how long the word is, so I don't know. So if I started my loop, I would say for I equals 0, because that's going to start at my first character, and then I'm going to get here and say I less than what? Well, how do I know how long my word is? Well, the way that I would know the length of my word is going to change each time. If someone puts in the word happy, it's going to have a length of 5 characters. If someone puts in the word up, it's going to have 2 characters. So each time that the word is entered, as long as it's a word less than 20 characters, it's going to change. So what I can do is I can call the string length function and pass it my word, and it's going to return back to me the length of the word. So this program could be used over and over to declare a character array, declare some other variables, ask the user for a word, get the word, print the word back onto the screen, get the length of the word, and then character by character go through and change it to uppercase. So I'm going to go less than length. So just to reiterate, if the word was happy, H-A-P-P-Y, that's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The null character is going to be here. I don't care to change the null character to uppercase. I only care to change the letters 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So less than length is going to go 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I want to change all the letters to uppercase, so I will go one by one, and then I will just go to word at index I equals toUpper word at index I. So word at index I is a character. This is hard to read. Word at index I is a character, so the character is going to come in here. The first one that comes in is going to be H, capital H. It's going to go into the toUpper function. It's going to return and become a capital H. Then the next letter to go in is going to be lowercase a. Then it's going to come back and it's going to change to an uppercase A. So now I'm at number 1. So now it changes to a 2, is 2, and length is 5. Let's get a different color here. Length is 5. Is 2 less than 5? Yes, it is. So now it's going to change this to this is a lowercase p. It's going to change to an uppercase p. So this will then change to I guess I should have done these with orange. All right. Uppercase H, uppercase. Okay, then it's going to change. It's finished with that one. It's going to go to a 3. It's going to check, is 3 less than 5? Yes, it is. So it's going to take the P. It's going to come back, change to an uppercase P. Then it's going to change to a 4. Is 4 less than 5? Yes, it is. So it's going to take the Y, come back with an uppercase Y. And then it's going to change to a 5, and it's going to test, is 5 less than 5? This condition becomes false, and the loop will end. And then down here, I would suggest printing the word again. All right, so in the next video, we're going to learn more about string.h functions. So far, we've only learned about one string length, but there are a whole bunch more functions, and that will be the focus of the next video.